And welcome everybody to a Wednesday night here with the super late models. We're here with the Maple Ridge iRacing Series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the New Hampshire Motor Speedway 50 lap SAP run. I got it, Jamie. You didn't think I was going to do it, but I got it.
You did a
Uh,
good job.
Thanks, man. Excited to get out here. This is the second race of the season for these guys. Brand new league here to iRacing. What a phenomenal race that they had last week. A lot of great driving, a lot of side by side action, but New Hampshire Motor Speedway can be a little bit tricky. It is definitely a flat track, and for most people, you either love this track or you hate this track. And I'm pretty sure I know where you land, Jamie.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I'm so glad to be watching this and not having to drive in it. So hopefully, all these guys really love it and they can put on as good a show as they did last week because that was absolutely phenomenal for an opening race of a brand new series.
Yeah, it sure was. Again, a lot of side by side action, a lot of clean racing, a lot of respect between those guys, and really, I mean, the racecraft was just it was phenomenal. So I am really looking forward to race number 2 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Track temperature is a little high here. It's 105 degrees, so if New Hampshire wasn't already a little bit difficult to drive, that track temperatures and these super late models grip level, they're going to be searching for it all night long, Jamie.
Absolutely. Yeah, that track temperature being where it's at is going to make this an even bigger challenge for these guys. Hopefully they're ready for it.
And watching a little bit of practice here, and as qualifying is finishing up, it really looked like these super late models were glued to the track. Didn't see too many people having some car control issues. I think as some guys were testing the limits a little bit, it is pretty easy to get loose out of the corners here because there's no banking to catch the car. You really got to come off these corners with a lot of throttle control.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, I do see notice they seem to be running a little bit lower with these super late models than what we would typically see with a Cup car or Xfinity car. So be interesting to see how this race goes if that line doesn't move up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to see as the race continues on here a little bit. But we are cars are taking the grid right now, so we'll head out to the grid and call our starting lineup here for tonight. So taking the pole here this evening is going to be George Kennard and that number 3 machine with a lap time of 30.3 right on the nose. So congratulations to George on the pole here this evening. Starting to his outside is going to be Michael D'Amico in that number 25. Starting third is Christopher Morris Jr. in that number 6. Starting to his outside is going to be Jared Audette in that 76 from 603 Motorsports. Starting in fifth is going to be Doug Neal from Singbox Motorsports in that number 77 entry. Starting at sixth is John Dickerman in that number 13 from JJ Racing. And then starting in seventh is Mario Irokani. Yeah.
Ercolani.
What was that?
Ercolani.
You are so much better at this. Maybe I shouldn't even do the grid anymore. Uh, but Mario Urka, one more time.
Ercolani.
Urko Nani. Urko
Lonnie.
Urko Lani. All right, stop yelling
There
at me.
you go.
And that 41 entry. He is starting seventh. He's gotten the most camera time here this evening. So we'll turn it over to you to finish off our starting grid tonight, Jamie.
All right, starting his outside in the 8th position is number 83 of Robert Alley Jr. Starting 9th, our buddy, number 84, Jesse Necula. Starting 10th, number 00 of Joey Fernandez. Starting 11th, number 4, Michael Warnay. Starting 12th, number 45, Joseph Mitchell. Starting 13th, number 22 of Alex Marinelli. Starting 14th, rounding out the field tonight, number 9 of Michael Waite.
So for those that are tuning in on the Goat Locker Racing Network, we truly appreciate it. And those that have tuned in to watch the Maple Ridge iRacing Series, welcome to the broadcast. We're happy to have you on board. Should be a fun evening of broadcasting. And if you haven't figured out, we like to have a lot of fun with our broadcasts as well. So be sure to pop into the chat on Twitch and shoot us some questions or some commentary or, I don't know, whatever you like to shoot our way. We'll have some fun with it. And we're going to have some great racing here tonight.
Definitely looking forward to it. Looks like this race is going to start with the sun just about going down. don't know if they'll run long enough for it to actually turn to night. We'll have to see about that, but definitely
And the green flag out. And the 3 of the 28 get together a little bit there on the start. A little bit of gamesmanship there. And this is where we're going to truly start to see a little bit here as we pan out a little bit to see how the field is coming through, where those two different lines really are working. Sometimes here in New Hampshire, that outside line will work a little bit, especially on fresh tires to get a good run. But the 3 car is able to move out front. George Kennard has control of this race.
Yeah, once again, a nice clean start throughout the field. Just like we saw last week. Some hard racing, but give and take at the same time. These guys really seem to have a good feel with how hard they can push without creating a problem for their other drivers.
Yeah, as we see everybody get single file pretty quickly here as we're coming up on lap number 3 here. Everybody's single file, kind of riding right now, feeling these cars out. We have 50 laps scheduled here tonight. It's the 50 lap SAT run. Do it slow enough, get it every time. I don't make any promises on that, but you know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. As we continue to go back to the racing here, the number 3 car is pulled away by about 10ths of a second here. Again, the rest of the field running nose to tail, not many gaps throughout the field. And this is a fixed racing series, and for those that don't know the difference between fixed and open, fixed is everybody is running the exact same setup. The only minor changes that you can make are to your steering ratio, your offset, and really what comes into play quite a bit is your brake pressure. And they'll make adjustments to those types of things, but short of that, everybody has the same equipment tonight. You know, when you shift over to open setups, that's when you can go in and really start tuning in your own setup. So it makes for a lot of great close racing, and it really makes it a driver's race, Jamie.
Absolutely. Well, you know, yeah, it does make it, puts it more in the driver's hands, but at the same time, some guys just don't, the fixed setups just don't really work for them. So some guys can be in a disadvantage with it. So I don't think it necessarily means a whole lot if you're not really successful on the fixed setups, but it definitely should provide for closer competition, we should say. You shouldn't see too many guys just flat out running away from the field in these types of situations.
As we saw there, number 6 car, Christopher Morris, makes the pass and moves himself up into second place. Michael D'Amico is now followed back to third. And we've got Jared Audette back and forth. And running at our top 5 right now is Doug Neal in that number 77 Simbox entry. We'll head back up and check in on our leader, George Kennard, as he has moved himself out to a little bit of a lead here. And we're going to have to see if Christopher Morris is able to do anything with it. And we'll double check the lap times and see if Christopher is making up any time or not. In that last lap, he made it up about a half a tenth there, Jamie.
Let's see if, a little bit of trouble mid-pack, but everybody keeps it going straight. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this gap, see if maybe George Kennard has used his tires up a little bit as he extending that lead like he did.
And that lap there, almost a tenth quicker, was Christopher Morris in that number 6 machine, so he is slowly but surely picking away at this lead here. We are starting to see some of these cars get a little bit more racy here. Tires are starting to get a little bit of age on them, and we're going to start to see who really push their car early in the run and where that fall off is going to start happening.
And I see Deviant Alley in the chat again. He's been hanging out with us kind of on a regular basis here recently. Oh, we got a car that's riding up the wall. Looks like everybody's skating around him. So far we stay under green.
And it looks like everybody's still pointed in the right direction here. We'll go back and check in on Alex Marinelli and how he's doing back in the number 22 entry. And running back in 11th place right now, but having himself a solid race. And yeah, as it looks right now, all cars are pointed in the right direction. I believe it was Mike Warren that got into trouble because he is well behind the field at this point in time.
Tough break to have those kind of issues. It didn't bring out the caution for him, so he's probably going to lose a lot of time here. Because he's got to have a lot of damage to that car. He did just about what Jesse Nekula did last week. He just was fortunate enough to not get thrown on his lid.
That is true. These cars do tend to kind of wall climb, as we have seen.
Yes.
They get into the wall, and they just want to kind of get on top of the wall. And you're right, Jamie. Last week we saw Jesse Nekula do exactly that in his car. Decided to climb that wall and then flip himself on his lid and had to get towed back to the pits. So hopefully we don't see any of that here tonight, as we have now completed 12 laps of our scheduled 50 here this evening. It has all been under green flag conditions with really a lot of great racing throughout the field.
Yeah, we've got the battle for the lead is really heating up. Christopher Morris has brought that 6 car within 0.4 of a second of the leader, and the two of them have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field, with Michael D'Amico in the 29 and finds himself over 2 seconds back.
Yeah, Christopher Morris has definitely got something figured out here, and he is really making up a lot of ground on our leader right now. They trade back and forth a little bit, but overall, that 6 car is on its way to the lead.
And we've got a Uncle Greggy sighting in the chat. Glad to have him here with us tonight.
My goodness, old Swervin' Sherman. Who would have thunk it? I think he just misses us, Jamie. I believe that's what it is.
Well, he knows where we're at. He can definitely come hang out with us more often.
And I tell you, anybody that's interested in running super late models really needs to check out Maple Ridge Racing Series.
Absolutely.
One, the super late models are very fun cars to drive. And two, the quality of drivers that they have put together, that Alex has put together, and the sponsorship and everything else, he has really done a phenomenal job of putting this series together and putting great races together.
Yes, we're two races into the season, but I mean, so far these guys have put on quite the show. Last week, what was there, like 2 cautions?
I believe so.
It's not like 2 cautions for an opening race of a brand new series. That's unheard of. And then now here they are tonight, 15 laps into this 50-lap race, and they've all been green. Again, guys are, they're going at it. It's not like everybody's just laying back and nobody's trying to do anything. I mean, these guys they're racing, but they're keeping it clean at the same time. It's awesome.
Yeah, as we're starting to see some of these gaps stabilize a little bit. Michael D'Amico is kind of stabilized there at about that 2 seconds back, and the gap from George to Christopher right now is kind of stabilized at about 0.3 of a second. We've seen both cars. We saw 2 laps ago the 6 car really pull up on the back end of the 3, but he's fallen back to about that 0.3 of a second lead or separation at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I tell you, I think it'd be a good time with this battle, getting ready to. Christopher Morris trying to make the move here. Let's give a shout out to Martin Sports Apparel. We were told that they're a sponsor for, I believe it's Joseph Mitchell. And let's see. Yeah, Joseph Mitchell is in the 45 car. Martin Sports Apparel is putting these races up on their big screen in their stores. So hopefully everybody at Martin Sports Apparel is getting to watch a pretty good battle here, as Christopher Morris is giving George Kennard everything he's got.
As we focus in here a little bit on the 9 car of Joseph Mitchell, that is a really cool looking car. He's definitely done. He's got that all-star number pushed to the back thing going on, but it is a cool looking car for sure. So thanks to Martin Sports for sponsoring him, and hopefully there's some people wandering around the sports store right now buying all kinds of stuff and watching the race. As we head back up front, again, it seems to stabilize there a little bit. It seems to me, as I've watched a little bit here, that 6 car has got a better line through 1 and 2. And that's really where he closes up. But going through 3 and 4, that gap, widens again. So they are definitely better at different ends of the track.
Yes. So interesting to see if Christopher Morris can make an adjustment to be a little bit better in turns 3 and 4. I mean, he does enter a little bit lower, keeps the car a little bit lower than George Kennard does. Maybe that hurts the drive off a tad. I mean, because he doesn't lose much, but he definitely does lose. The 3 car is able to open the gap, but then, they get to turn 1 and 2, and Christopher Morris is right there to that bumper.
Yeah, as we see the 3 car taking more of a diamond approach to it. He lets that car push up through the center of the corner. We'll see it here. He gets almost up into the black, and then we'll bring that car back down to really get a good drive off, whereas the 6 car, Christopher Morris, is taking more of just a good sweeping arc through the corner. So different lines and different strategies are playing out here on the track, and we'll have to continue to watch it here a little bit. And with the way they've got fuel and everything set up too, we're going to see some green flag stops here probably sooner than later.
And this is not an easy pit road to get on.
No.
This is, so hopefully guys have practiced this, anticipating the green flag stops. If they didn't pay attention last week, the bigger track here, definitely a lot of opportunities here for this race to just run green. So we'll see if anybody has trouble getting on and off pit road.
As we're going to go through the field here and look at all the different drivers that are out here this evening. Again, George Kennard taking the pole here this evening on a number 3 entry and has led every lap. Really, as Christopher Morris has been all over his back bumper in that number 6 entry. Running back at 3rd right now is Michael D'Amico in that number 29 Haviland car. 4th place, up 2 spots from where he had started at, John Dickerman in that number 13 entry, having himself a good night and solidly within the top 5 right now. Robert Alley Jr. in that 83 car is up a couple spots as well. And he now finds himself in 5th position, up 3 spots from where he had started. Jared Ardette has fallen back a couple of spots in that 76 entry, but still in 6th position right now. And then Jesse Nekula from the original Rebels Racing League in that 84 entry, up 2 spots from where he has started. Back in 8th place is Joseph Fernandez in the 00 car. Again, another really cool looking car. Definitely got the spec back stuff going on because a lot of chrome on that car. Really cool looking.
It is.
And then we'll look back. Joseph Mitchell, who we highlighted a little bit earlier. Gotta love it. He put all his stuff into iRacing live timing. And his little quote on there is, "I'm faster than Alex Marinelli." So outstanding. And right now, Joseph, you are 100% correct. You are faster than him, as he is the car right behind you in the number 22, Alex Marinelli. Having himself a good race, again, up 3 spots from where he started, solidly in the top 10 right now. Michael Waite in that number 9 entry. That tip of the hat to what Chase Elliott runs on Sundays. Having himself a good night, up 3 spots from where he had started. Michael Warren in that number 4 entry in 12th position right now. And then Doug Neal in the 77 entry, down 8 spots from where he had started at, so having a really rough night here tonight.
Yeah, and Mario Ercolani has been having connection issues. It's showing him as he's back connected, but I don't think he's on the track. Well, he may be. Not 100% sure. He's showing him 13 laps down, but it's all been connection issues, not performance.
As we take a look right now, Alex Marinelli is on pit road, so he has come down to get his service, getting tires and fuel, and is going to head back out. So some of the pit strategy is starting to play out as we see right now.
Yeah, and Christopher Morris is all over the back of the 3 car. If now this time he does get a run coming off of turn 4. He's hanging in there a lot closer to the rear of that 3 car than he was previously. If he continues to get the good runs through 1 and 2, I imagine we'll be seeing him make a pass.
Oh, he gets
George.
Yeah, George gets real loose coming off the corner there.
Yeah, George got loose on his own. There was not contact.
Kind of sails it off into 3. Probably trying to give himself a little bit of space here. But, those rear tires on that number 3 entry, probably not real happy right now.
Yeah, and you know, I tell you, that's what Christopher Morris wants to see. And when he sees stuff like that happen, you know, he sees George get loose on his own, and then he goes too deep into turn 3. That just telling Christopher Morris that he's got him right where he wants him, and it's just a matter of time before he's going to be able to make this pass and take over the lead.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely going to start seeing some different pit strategies play out here as we are coming up on 20 laps left here to go. All 30 laps so far this evening have been run under green flag conditions, and so I think some of these guys are probably just going to do a splash of fuel and go to maintain their track position, while we saw Alex Marinelli there earlier do a full pit stop, get new tires. So we're going to see some different strategies play out
here. Yeah, definitely, especially if you're one of these 2 leaders. Yeah, I think it'd be a little tough under green flag conditions to take tires with these super late models. The pit stops are not going to be as fast as a Cup car, you know, or Xfinity, or even trucks. They're going to be a little bit slower. Not as bad as the street stock, but they are definitely going to be slower. So I don't know. That'd be tough under green flag to take 4 tires here.
I think so as well. And with the green flag look that this race has got to it, you're either probably going to win this race or lose this race on that green flag stop. So you're going to want to spend as little time as possible on pit road, get back out there, maintain your track position. Is this? I want to say it's been like 10 straight laps. We're like, it's going to happen. He's so close, and then he just is very patiently stalking that 3 car.
Yeah, he has. Christopher Morris is being very, very patient here. Once again, wow. He's really starting to get the close up. There he goes. He's going to make his move to the inside. Oh, he backs out of it, though, or either he backed out of it or George Kennard just really drove it in deeper than he has.
Boy, they get real close through the center of the corner. And I really think George is driving that car in deep at this point in time, trying to maintain that lead. And the 6 car is just running his race. And he is better through the center, and he is going to power off the corner. And we have a new leader here tonight.
Oh,
and the 3 car gets up into the wall.
Could not see if there was maybe some contact there.
And we'll back it up here real quick.
There was no contact. It definitely was not.
We'll take a look here real quick here. That is a tough break, but the 6 car had already cleared him, and he comes up out of the corner and just really pushes and gets into that outside wall. So no contact there. I think he was just racing really hard to try to stay as close as he could, and that car got arrow tight behind the 6. And that's the first time he's been behind anybody, and not knowing what that car was going to do, got arrow tight and pushed him up into the wall.
Yeah.
So now Christopher Morris, that 6 car, now has a sizable lead, almost a 2.5 seconds over George Kennard. Michael D'Amico is almost 3.5 seconds back at this point in time, so we're going to continue to wait and see when these cars come down pit road, because I am very certain they cannot make it to the end on fuel.
Well, I mean, they're only going to they're closing in on 10 laps to go. Oh, goodness. Christopher Morris was really loose down most of that straightaway.
As he was waving hi to the fans in the campground there on the back stretch. These tires are starting to wear out here a little bit, and we're starting to see these guys really struggle with a little bit of car control. But they're keeping them pointed in the right direction. And again, we have stayed green the entire time. And you're right, Jamie, we're coming up on 10 laps to go. So strategy is going to play out here very shortly.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's ever been interested to see what it's like behind the wheel of one of these cars, we'll take you behind the wheel of our leader right now, Christopher Morris. And this is the view that he has of the track, and you're going to really see him work the wheel. as we pass the start-finish line, we'll take a lap with our leader here as they head down into turn 1. Really a lot of steering input. As we talked about, this is a very flat track with not a lot of banking. And you're going to see him saw the wheel back and forth coming off that corner just to keep the car underneath him. Down the back straightaway and down into 3. Not a lot of full throttle time here at this track, because you really got to be careful going through these corners. You're hearing on and off that gas right now. And that is a lap behind the wheel of one of these super late models of our leader. Go back and take a look here as we've got some side-by-side action as the 84 car and 76 are battling back here for that 5th position. Jesse Nekula is able to clear him. And now we've got a couple other cars that are going to come into the mix here a little bit. And we're going to have to see again as some of the strategy is playing out here a little bit. I'm just curious to see when these guys are going to pitch. I would assume that we'd have seen them by now. But our leaders still stay out there.
He's getting ready to start having to deal with some lap traffic here.
As he continues to pull away from the second place car of George Kennard. Lap car yields way there a little bit, gets up out of the way. And we now have 9 laps left to go in the New Hampshire Motor Speedway 50-lap zap run. Or maybe they're just fooling all of us, Jamie. They don't have to come to pit road. I'm just making stuff up here. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think if you haven't pitted by now, then most likely I'm guessing they don't really have to stop. Because I don't know why you would, I don't see the purpose of continuing to run. If you have to make that stop, you might as well just make the stop.
Yeah, and a lot of races that we get into and race quite frequently across a few different series, when we get into these races that have these green flag looks to them and we know we can't make it to the end on fuel, we start looking at the halfway points.
Right.
And, for not a lot of drivers to come down pit road at the halfway point of this, I think you're right, Jamie. It kind of leads to the fact that maybe they don't need fuel and they're going to run this thing all the way out. So we'll see here. But our leader, Christopher Morris, continues to lead in that number 6 machine. Looks like George Kennard has been able to cut into that lead a little bit more. He's now just over a second back of our leader, so I don't know if the tires are starting to wear out on that 6 machine or what's going on, but George Kennard is making a comeback right now, Jamie.
Yeah, that is surprised to see that. I really thought once he got into the wall and he fell back as far as he did, I really figured the car was hurt. And we'd seen pretty much all we were going to see of George tonight. But clearly, he just knocked 2 tenths off the leader. So car seems to be running just fine. I have to see if Christopher Morris has just used up his stuff too soon. With 5 laps to go here in New Hampshire Motor Speedway 50-lap sap run.
Oh, and here comes the number 3 car down pit lane with 6 laps left to go. So we're going to have to continue to watch this to see when the 6 car comes, because it's looking like they're going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, see, that's just a little something I don't quite understand. If you had to stop, why not stop once you got in the wall and had that damage? Come out and use your fast repair. I'm pretty sure they have a fast repair available. Use your fast repair, get that car fixed, and get back out there and be running at your best. I don't understand why you make all those laps when you had to stop. And maybe that's what Christopher Morris is doing. Maybe Christopher Morris has gone into fuel saving mode, and that's why the 3 car was able to close up on him like he did.
It definitely looks that way, because his pace has dropped off significantly. And you can see him just coasting into the corners.
Well, we got another car into the wall, but gets down to the inside there, out of harm's way.
Caution is out. Wow, that will probably shake this up quite significantly here, as we've only got 7 cars left on the lead lap here, so we'll have to see what the leaders do as they're going to come down pit road. But it definitely looked like the 6 car was going into max fuel saving mode there and trying to push this thing all the way to the end.
Yeah. And this will definitely be a green-white checkered finish. So we'll have to see if he's been trying to save fuel. Is he going to have enough fuel to go those extra couple laps to finish this under green? And now he's going to have the field tightened up to him. So his advantage that he had, where he was able to kind of back out and save some fuel, is now gone. If he wants to win, he's going to have to run.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see him bring that car down pit road right now.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine all the other leaders will come down pit road with him as well, as we see our top 3 cars right now on pit lane. And we'll see as the other cars catch up here a little bit, whether or not we see them come down pit lane as well. So definitely a lot of different things playing out right now, Jamie.
Yeah, well, let's see if he takes tires here. All right, the car goes up in the air, so he is going to take tires.
With 7 cars on the lead lap here, and everybody coming down pit road, and it looks like everybody has, well, looks like 28 car there is 29 car only took 2 tires because he is already gone. So again, we're seeing some different pit strategies here. With as much wears on those tires, Jamie, I don't know if 2 tires would have been the thing to do considering everybody else came down pit road.
Yeah. We will have to see on that if that's how this is going to work out for Mike D'Amico. I'd be scared to try it, but hey, you know, if he feels like this is the only shot he's got to win, then
hey, take it.
I guess you go for it.
Yeah, a lot of times taking 2 tires really all it does is make a loose car incredibly loose.
Yes.
And there are tracks you can definitely get away with it. Usually at the higher bank tracks, you can play those strategies out a little bit more. But at some of these flatter tracks, that 2 tires is really going to show up, and it's going to show up very quickly.
So it brings a question with George Kennard. We saw him come down pit road under green.
Mm-hmm.
Did he take tires?
You know,
because he did not go a lap down, and I don't know that he could have made a stop, take tires without falling a lap down to the leader, unless Christopher Morris was just that far off the pace, I guess. I don't know, but if he didn't take tires, that means he's still out here on his original set of tires, and he's going to be restarting this race on basically 50 lap old tires. That is going to be a tricky situation to get this start clean with those old tires and not spin them. And you're going to have guys, you know, Michael D'Amico on the outside is going to be looking to go, who at least has 2 tires. And I'm not sure what Christopher Morris took, if he took 2 or 4.
Well, I will tell you that George Kennard took fuel only when he came down pit road. He was only on pit road for 6 seconds. Michael D'Amico did take the 2 tires. Christopher Morris, 4 tires. Jesse Nekula, 4 tires. John Dickerman took 2. But yes, George Kennard is out there on 50 lap tires right now. Yeah, that's
he is
not a good mix.
Yeah, he's going to be a sitting duck on this restart. Hopefully, fingers crossed that he gets a clean restart since he does control it. Doesn't spin the tires because these guys behind him are going to be coming, and the pace car is off.
And we're back to racing here. A little bit of, it looked like the 29 car tried to go a little bit early. Couldn't quite make it. 3 car pushes.
Look at those 4 tires go. Christopher Morris just turns to the inside and shoots right past.
29 car is trying to get a rundown on the inside.
Wow.
He's going to, and the 3 car gets into the back of the 6.
And
it's going to collect up Jesse Nekula.
Caution's out.
We are wrecking.
We are going to get another attempt at this green-white checkered.
We'll go back and take a look at this here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that the 3 car got in the back of him, or did he get doored by the 29?
And we're taking a look right now here, and we'll slow it down for our viewers. But some tight racing here. As we're going to watch them go down into the corner here, and Michael D'Amico is underneath him. Does get into the door pretty hard, so that is definitely what caused the accident there. The 3 car is actually able to avoid it almost completely, but that's what brings us under caution. And then we're going to see him try to save this car and just not be able to do it as he continues to get into a few other cars here. But tough break for our leader there, as I think he had the race winning strategy. It just did not play out. So we will head back up front, and our leader of the race is going to be Mike D'Amico there, and we're going to have John Dickerman in second place with Michael Waite back in third, up 11 spots, so our biggest mover of the race thus far. And then Robert Alley Jr. and Jared Ardette is going to round out our top 5, so some new faces up front right now, Jamie.
Yeah, you know, and George Kennard and Christopher Morris, who was led this thing the whole night to this point, not really going to be in the picture.
No, as we now have 11 cards on the lead lap, and Christopher Morris in that number 6 machine is going to be the 11th place car, so the last car on the lead lap. I'm sure he'll be able to carve his way up a little bit through the field here, but definitely takes him out of contention for a win here tonight. So as we go back and take a look at the 45 entry of Joseph Mitchell, he has worked his way up to 7th position, so up 5 spots from where he started, so having himself a good night. If he can pick up a couple more, he'll get himself a good top 5 finish here tonight.
Yep, putting on a good show for the folks watching it.
And I believe, Jamie, this is our second attempt at a green-white checkered, so this will be the final one, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe so. I believe they do have, no, they have 3. So they'll have one more if this one doesn't work out. Fingers crossed this one's going to work out. I mean, they ran such a good race. I hate to see it get marred by a bunch of late cautions.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they ran what, 48 laps green. Start this thing off.
As our top 2 cars now are both on a 2-tire strategy, and every other car behind them are on 4 tires. So again, we still have different strategies. We're gonna have to see if these guys, you know, the 13 car and the 29 car that are out there on you know, new right side tires but 50 lap left side tires, if they're gonna be able to hold off the hard charging 4 tires that are behind them.
Yeah, I'd really like to see what the wear looks like on those left side tires.
New Hampshire has a way of chewing up tires for sure. I mean, you use a lot of tire just to keep that car under control because, again, like we've said, there's just no banking to catch that car.
Right. And we saw how bad loose, you know, Christopher Morris was getting just on the straightaways towards the end of that run. You know, those tires were definitely angry at that point.
As we're getting ready to get back underway here. Green flag is out, and the 29 car gets a phenomenal start there. And he has cleared everybody by at least 5 car lengths.
Yeah, he looked like he got shot out of a gun there. Not sure if the 13 was sleeping a little bit. He definitely didn't look like he was ready for that restart.
Oh, so he has got himself out there to the lead right now. Coming into turn 3 and 4, and he's going to be looking for that white flag, so we don't have any more restarts here this evening.
He is now taking the white flag. So the next flag, one way or the other, will win this race.
Final lap here in the New Hampshire Motor Speedway 50-lap SAP run. Been a lot of great racing back through the field here. But it's looking like, Jamie, that 2-tire strategy is going to pay off as those 4 tires aren't even making up ground on them.
No, they're not. I was really surprised to see that. They've been fighting with each other over position rather than running down the leader, but Michael D'Amico just got such a good start, and he's going to win this race here tonight. He wins the New Hampshire Motor Speedway 50-lap SAP run.
What a great run for him, and strategy is what paid off for him. That two-tire stop there, under caution, and puts him out front, and he never looks back. What a great call for the race. Hats off to him and his crew on just executing a very good race. Congratulations on the win here tonight. Race number 2 of this Maple Ridge Racing Series. And again, Jamie, it did not disappoint whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this is, second race of the season, the second outstanding performance these guys have put in. I almost wish we could bring Christopher Morse up and talk to him. I'd like to get his thoughts on that turn 3 incident between him and Michael D'Amico. Because, Christopher Morse was on 4 fresh tires and was in the catbird seat, and kind of got the rug pulled out from under him here.
Yeah, as we saw him after the race kind of come up to the 29, and maybe they'll have a talk back at the race haulers here. I'm sure that's going to happen. As I can imagine that he's not very happy about it, but the 29 car does bring home the win here this evening. So congratulations to him as he continues to burn it down here. It comes to a rest right there on pit wall, and we'll have to see if we can grab him up and talk to our race winner. We'll give him a second here as I'm looking up in the race control. He has got himself muted and everything else. So hopefully if we drag him over here, he'll actually be able to hear us. We're giving it a shot. What do you say, Jamie?
Yeah. Come on, Michael.
Hey, Mike, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy? He is deafened and muted.
There he is.
Go. Hey, Mike, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. Now do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, what an awesome win here this evening. Race number 2 of the Maple Ridge iRacing Series, and you bring home the win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It came down to you all ran 48 green flag laps, had that last late race caution, and then was able to come down pit road, took 2 tires, got out to the lead, and never looked back, man. So take me to your race here tonight and how you brought home the win.
I would say my race is pretty terrible up until the end, if we're being quite honest. Chris and who's the other guy here? They were the class of the field, honestly, and I just got lucky at the end. And I'm sorry to Chris if I dumped him at the end. I gotta go look back at the replay and see. But happy I won though.
Yeah, Michael, man, congratulations on the big win here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. You guys started this race with 48 green flag laps. Good close racing between you and George Kennard for the lead. We saw you finally got. Well, I'm sorry. That was Christopher and George. But anyways, congratulations again for you on the win. There was contact between you and Christopher Morris going into turn 3 there on that restart. It's hard to tell if you were just running your line there and he turned down or if you pushed up, but there definitely was contact. What was your perspective on that?
I gotta go back and look at a replay, but you know what? He got by George. I got alongside of him. I don't know if either one of us is going to lift going into 3 because that was kind of the race right there. Whoever was going to come out of that turn with the lead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's hard to tell. It looks like you just kind of, held your line up high, didn't really drop down, probably like he expected you to, and then he kind of made his entry, and so it was definitely tough. One of those things, man. But I mean, hey, that's super late model racing right there at its finest. So again, congratulations on that win. Anybody you need to thank, shout out, sponsors?
No sponsors in particular, honestly. I just plucked this scheme from Trading Paints.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. And get out there and celebrate, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's see if we can dial up our second place winner, John Dickerman. Hey, John, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys. How you doing?
Good, man. So a good solid run here this evening. Didn't call your name a whole lot, and then comes down to the end here, and you find yourself up in second place. So really talk to me about your race and how you got that car up into second place.
I didn't know if we were going to have anything decent tonight. And then we were kind of running fourth and kind of felt stagnant there. And then I wasn't even paying attention. My teammate Joey came over the radio and said, "Hey, we need fuel." And that's when I realized we need to stop for fuel. So I just took fuel. I didn't take tires. And figured I'd just ride there. And then when the caution came out, I went in, took rights. And I didn't know where we stood as far as, who had tires, who didn't have tires. And I quickly found out that the eventual race winner there, he took tires because he came out of there like a rocket. And I just kind of followed him through and made it through that little skirmish through 3 and 4 and snuck out with a second place finish.
Hey, Jonathan, man, congratulations on that second place finish. Great run tonight. Me and Pat were talking about the two-tire strategy, and that's a pretty bold strategy. It's one that I said I'd probably be a little bit afraid to make. So how is that car feeling on two tires?
It's actually really good on two tires. I was surprised. When we came into 1 and 2, it turned in way better than it had been all race. So it gave me a lot more confidence, coming down the backstretch in a 3. And that's when I got behind the winner there, and we just came through 3 and 4 and came out the other end first. I was third when I came out of 4, and the caution came out. I don't know what happened with third place, second place. I don't know if he needed fuel or what.
Well, man, hey, I'm glad to hear that worked out for you. And, again, congratulations on a strong run here tonight. You guys put on a hell of a show for the second week in a row. Anybody you need to thank? Shout out, sponsors?
Just no sponsors. Just shout out to my wife for watching the kids while I come down here and race.
That's an important shout out for sure. So, but congratulations on that second place finish, man. Good to see you out there, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you more in the future.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
All right, so we got one more guy up in the booth, and I'm just going to guess it's Robert Ireland Jr. So, hey, Robert, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, we've got you.
Ha-ha! I did figure it out. Look at that. So, great race for you here this evening. Finished on the podium finish in third place. Again, another one of the cars we didn't get a chance to really talk about too much as the leaders were up there battling, but as things shook up there at the end, you were able to bring that car home in third place. So take me through your race here tonight and how you were able to bring that 83 home with a podium finish.
Well, we were running for green for a really long time there, and I figured, it might go green all the way to the end. So, with about 15 laps to go, I decided to pit, and I took fuel, and I took 2 tires, and it drove really good after that. I was cutting my way back up through. I got back onto the lead lap under green before it went yellow, and it really set me up for when the yellow did come out. I pitted again and took 2 more tires, and I was able to get around a few guys, and ended up in third. I got around some Michael Waite on the last lap there to get third.
Hey, Robert, congratulations on a strong third place finish, man. So, you're hearing the same thing from you, that the car felt better on the 2 tires than, you had before. That's really a surprise to me. I mean, was the car really that tight before you got those 2 tires and it freed it up that much? What was the difference?
It came off the corner a lot better with 2 tires than even with 4 for me. After a few laps on 4 tires, it would start to get a little bit tight, and I'd be able to get off the corner without getting too loose. And I had good drive off, even on old tires. When I got 2 tires, I was expecting it to be loose, just like on new tires coming off, and it wasn't quite as loose on just 2 tires as it was on 4 new tires. So I'm not sure why that is. It seems like it wouldn't normally be that way.
No, I can tell you, it definitely is not normally that way. So that's definitely threw a loop in it for me. Like I told, talking to Jonathan, I would not personally, I would not have made that call for 2 tires, and I really thought that was pretty bold of you guys to do that. And I'm glad it worked out for you guys. So again, congratulations on that strong run. Anybody you need to thank? Shout out sponsors.
No, I don't have any sponsors or anything. I just have Claremont Motor Speedway's Motorsports Park on my hood. I go there pretty much every week, and gonna be going there probably this Friday night. And I know I'm gonna send this video to my mom afterwards, if she wants to watch it after it's uploaded to YouTube. So, hi, Mom.
Well, hey, get your. We've got Mama Ellenson. Jake Ellingson's mom is in our Twitch every time we're on. So get your mom on Twitch and get her watching this stream. She can be part of the Goat Locker Racing family, man.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. Shout out to moms all across the world. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon, brother.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jamie, it didn't disappoint. I don't know.
No.
We always have
Not
these
at all.
preconceptions coming into tracks, and we, me and you have been racing together for over 25 years, and we know these tracks, and we've watched racing and all these things, and when we look at certain tracks like New Hampshire, we're like, ooh, this one's going to be a tough one for these super late models, but boy, they proved us wrong. They ran a very good race here this evening. A lot of great strategy, and man, that was a fun race as a fan just to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about before we came on how this race might go, and I'll be honest. I thought to myself, there's no way they can do what they did last week again. Granted, they were at New Smyrna last week, which is a short track, tough little track to get around, and they did a phenomenal job. We practically beat that in the ground with how good of a job they did last week. And I was thinking, they're not going to be able to do that again at New Hampshire. It's just going to be too much to try to duplicate that. And what do? They did even better. 48 green flag laps to start this thing off. A couple late cautions put us under the green white checker finish. Actually, 2 attempts at that. Great racing throughout the night. A lot of competition up front. You had Christopher Morse and George Kennard. They were going at each other for most of that 48 laps before Christopher Morse finally was able to make his way around George Kennard there. And if the race had ended if race had stayed green, Christopher Morse is probably the winner of this race. That's not the way it went. And Michael D'Amico pulled out the win here tonight. Just an overall great job once again by all the drivers in Maple Ridge Series Racing.
We're gonna get it. I swear we're gonna get it. And for as much as we talk about maple and syrup and sap, somebody needs to pack up whatever they got going on up there and send it our way so we can approve of it. We'll go with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like pancakes and syrups just as much as the next guy does.
Yeah. It's hey, the bar's been set high by the original Rebels Racing guys. Dave Jones, he sent us both White Castle, so I'm pretty sure syrup can go through the mail too.
Don't mind us pandering for food right now. But again, I mean, I can't say enough about what Alex has done with this league. Maple Ridge iRacing Series has been a lot of fun to be a part of. Can't wait to continue to see it grow. For all the sponsors and things that they're doing, we here at Go Locker Racing want to say thank you for helping them put this thing together. Some really cool sponsorship stuff going on. You talked about it, Jamie. I think we were actually broadcast live in a sports store here this evening, which is, awesome. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that as well, and for all of our sponsors as well. And for those that don't know much about Goat Locker Racing, we have our own racing series that goes down on Thursday evenings, and both Jamie and I are retired veterans from the Navy, and we really focus in on helping veterans and bringing veterans together, and police officers and first responders. So we have a lot of great sponsors ourselves as well. So thanks to everybody that makes this happen. It is a lot of fun to come out here, and for the race fans out there, It's a whole lot of fun to watch. We'll bring up their schedule and we'll take a look at where they're going to be at over the next couple weeks. As we finished race number 2 here again at New Hampshire. So next week, heading to one of your favorite tracks, Jamie, Bristol Motor Speedway. Should be a lot of fun with the super late models there. That is, you go from almost no banking to all kinds of banking at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that should be a lot of fun to watch. And then we're going to go back to no banking at Martinsville Speedway. So these drivers are going to be on a roller coaster here over the next couple weeks. Then it's going to be off to Iowa, Phoenix, the Nashville Fairgrounds. And then we're still waiting on the league vote to see what the final race of the season is going to be on September 29th. And then on October 6th, we'll start the 3-race playoffs. So a lot of great racing here, but for those that tune into the Goat Locker Racing Network, we'll be live tomorrow night. We are hosting our first recruitment race for our season number 2 in the Truck Series. So please come out and join us. The practice will open up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to find it under hosted sessions. And then again on Friday night, be sure to tune in as we continue through the playoffs in the Goat Locker Racing Extreme Xfinity Series, where it is the cutoff race for the Final Four at Richmond Motor Speedway. And we're going to have to see if if me and Jamie, the 2 Goat Locker boys, get into the Final Four, and I think that we will. And then we'll have Saturday night off, and then on Sunday, be sure to tune in for the Rebels Truck Series. But again, thanks to everybody that tunes in. Big congratulations to our race winner here tonight, and we'll see you all again tomorrow night.